Hey, it's Mrs. Rodolfi again, and I'm going to be doing part 2 of the Algebra 1 Post-Test Study Guide, and I'm on number 9 right now. Again, make sure you are using a different color pen and you have already gone through this using your pencil and done as much as you could on your own first, and now you're checking your answers with a pen. Do not erase anything you learn from your mistakes. Learning target for number 9, I can simplify expressions using the properties of exponents. Simplify the following expressions using a single positive exponent. A times b to the negative fifth power. All right, we want this to be positive. If you look back at your foldable, to make it positive, we need to do the reciprocal. Now, a, remember, that has that invisible 1, so that's a sub 1. So that we are going to keep on the numerator. But b to the negative fifth is also over 1. It's like that invisible 1 as a fraction. If we were to do the inverse, we would flip it, so it would go to the denominator, b to the fifth. So that would be our simplified answer. A over b to the fourth power. Same thing, we need to apply that exponent to both the numerator and the denominator, so it would be a to the fourth over b to the fourth, and that's our final answer. If we have parentheses, it's a product to a product. A to the fourth power, we need to multiply to the sixth power, so 4 times 6. And then b to the fifth power, we also need to apply times 6. Then simplify, 4 times 6 is 24, a to the 24th power. And then b would be 5 times 6, which is to the 30th power. Now, that is simplified. J to the 0 power, anything to the 0 power equals 1, so that just equals 1. Learning target for number 10, I can solve and interpret problems using function notation. Kristen has $500 in her savings account. She is able to save $50 each month. The function s of m equals 50m plus 500 represents the amount of money in her savings account s as a function of time in months m. Find s of 2, explain what this represents in this problem. All right, well, s of 2, if it gave me s of m, I know that I'm substituting 2 for m. So s of 2 equals 50 times 2 plus 500. Use your calculator. 50 times 2 plus 500 is 600. Also, if you break it down, 50 times 2 is 100. 100 plus 500 is 600. So this is how we would write it in function notation. S of 2 equals 600. To interpret this, go back to what it tells us. If it's S of M, S is the savings in her account, so that's equal to 600. And then M, which is the number inside the parentheses, the input, that represents the amount of months, time that has gone by. So 2 months have gone by, so after 2 months, and then who are we talking about? We're talking about Kirsten, or Kirsten. Kirsten saves a total of $600 in, and then let's, think of those 5 W's, who, what, when, where, why, how, in her savings account. Be as specific as possible. Number 11 learning target. I can identify key features of exponential functions. A biologist is studying a new species of bacteria. The biologist starts a sample of 100 bacteria and observes the growth g of x is doubling every 6 hours, where x represents the 6-hour time periods. What is the y-intercept of the graph of the function? Also, something that I've been meaning to model is mark the text. Use the cubes that I've been talking about in class and that we've been doing. So like circle key numbers, 100, 6 hours, another 6-hour time period. And then underline the question, what is the y-intercept of the graph of the function? Box math action words, or just important things. So like, biologist starts a sample of 100 bacteria, Growth, remember we're talking about exponential functions. It's important to know it's growing, and it's growing by doubling every 6 hours. So if it's asking us for the y-intercept, that's the starting point. Well, go back to your boxed words. Starts at 100 bacteria. That's our starting point. So y-intercept is the starting point, which is 100 bacteria. And then we always give y-intercept as an ordered pair. So that would be 0, 100. All right, next one, number 12. Learning target. I can simplify polynomial expressions and I can rewrite a quadratic function in standard form. So we want to simplify these and make sure they're written in standard form. All right, so remember those invisible ones. Simplify the following expressions using standard form. So we have 8x cubed minus 2x minus 7 minus times negative 2x cubed minus 4x squared plus 8x plus 1. All right, we put the ones, invisible ones, in front of our parentheses. Then we need to distribute. If we multiply 1 by everything in this set, it stays the same. 8x cubed minus 2x minus 7. If I multiply negative 1 by everything in this set of parentheses, it's going to change the sign. Negative 1 times negative 2x cubed is positive 2x cubed. Negative 1 times negative 4x squared is positive 4x squared. Negative 1 times 8x is negative 8x. And negative 1 times positive 1 is negative 1. Then this is where color coding really helps. So get out highlighters, colored pencils, something to color code. And then let's start with 8x cubed. Let's find another term that has cubed plus 2x cubed. So first I'm just going to highlight all of them. Then we have negative 2x and negative 8x. Then we have negative 7 and negative 1. And then 4x squared is by itself. All right, so first you could just combine all like terms. So 8x cubed plus 2x cubed is 10x cubed. Negative 2x minus 8x is negative 10x. Negative 7 minus 1 is negative 8. And then we have plus 4x squared. Now this is not in standard form. So now I have to go back and rewrite it in standard form as the directions state. So look for your largest exponent. Largest exponent is x cubed, so I'm going to put that first. Then I need to go in descending order. My next one would be 2, so 4x squared plus 4x squared would go next. Then x to the first power, remember there's that invisible 1 there, negative 10x. And then our constant, negative 8. So this would be our answer. Put a box around it. All right, for the next one, B, now we're adding. So again, put that invisible 1 in front of our parentheses. They're both positive 1, so everything stays the same. So now we're going to get rid of our parentheses and just rewrite everything. All right, then let's combine like terms. 6x cubed, I don't see anything else with 6x cubed. 2x squared and 7x squared. 6x and negative 3x. And then negative 6 is on its own. So let's rewrite them. 6x cubed. And then 2x squared plus 7x squared is plus 9x squared. 6x minus 3x is plus 3x, and then minus 6. Make sure it's in standard form, which it is, so that is our answer. All right, now for multiplication. If you're just given one term on the outside of the parentheses, you need to distribute. 13x times x cubed. 13 stays the same, and then x to the first power times x to the third power, we add the exponent, so x to the fourth power. Then 13x times negative 4x, so first multiply your x, or your coefficients. 13 times negative 4 is negative 52. And then both these exponents are 1, so it would be x squared, 1 plus 1. And then that's your final answer. It's in standard form from largest exponent to smallest. All right, remember there's also the box method. So for this next one, I'm going to use the box method. So we could do 7x plus 7 times 6x minus 8. 7x times 6x is 42x squared. 7 times 6x is 42x. 7x times negative 8 is negative 56x. And 7 times negative 8 is negative 56. Always combine your like terms in these diagonal boxes. And then to write in standard form, we always start with our x squared term, 42x squared. Then we simplify. Negative 56 plus 42, negative 14x. And then our constant is negative 56. And that is our final answer. Then remember, if you have a term 2x minus 7 squared, that means 2x minus 7 times 2x minus 7. Then if we were to solve this, we could use distributive property. 2x times everything in the second set of parentheses. So 2x times 2x is 4x squared. 2x times negative 7 is negative 14x. Then we would also need to multiply this negative 7 by everything. Negative 7 times 2x is negative 14x. Negative 7 times negative 7 is positive 49. You will combine your two middle terms. Bring down the 4x squared. Negative 14x minus 14x is negative 28x. And then plus 49. All right, and then the last one is another multiplication. Again, we can use the box method. So I made mine 3 by 2, so I'll put my 3 terms at the top. 5x squared minus 5x minus 5. 11x plus 7. 5x squared times 11x is 55x cubed. Negative 5x times 11x is negative 55x squared. And then negative 5 times 11x is negative 55x. 5x squared times 7 is 35x squared. Negative 5x times 7 is negative 35x. And negative 5 times 7 is negative 35. Combine your like terms. So these are my x squared terms. And these are my x terms. All right, start with the largest exponent, which was x cubed, so 55x cubed. Combine your like terms, 35x squared minus 55x, negative 20x squared, negative 35 minus 55, negative 90x, and then our constant, negative 35. And that is your final answer. All right, 13, learning target. I can factor quadratic functions when a equals 1. So for this one, when a equals 1, we want to find factors of b that I'm saying that wrong. Factors of C that add up to B, or the sum of B. So let's write that off to the side. Factors of C and have a sum or add to B. So remember they're in ax squared plus bx plus c. All right, so for this one, a would be 1, so a equals 1, b equals 15, the number next to x, and then c is your constant, 56. So we want factors of 56 that add up to 15. So it sometimes helps to make a table. Factors of 56 add up to 15. So start with like small numbers, like 1 and 56. 1 times 56 equals 56. If I add them together, that's 57. That's not going to work. So kind of just start and like go up. Then let's try 2. If you are not sure if it's divisible by 56, do 56 divided by 2, 28. So 2 times 28 equals 56. So 2 and 28. 2 plus 28 equals 30. Well, we need 15. All right, then try 3. 56 divided by 3. That gives us a decimal. It has to be a whole number. 56 divided by 4, 14. 4 times 14 is 56. 4 plus 14 is 18. We need 15. We're getting closer. All right, 56. I know 5 doesn't go into it. Let's try 6. Nope. 56 divided by 7. 8. 7 times 8 equals 56. 7 plus 8 is 15. That is our winning combination. So make a list, a table like this, so that you can keep track of what you've already tried and find the right combination. Then the way we write it for when a equals 1 is we take these numbers 7 and 8, we put x plus 7, parentheses, times x plus 8. And then we went over how to check in Desmos. Ask me if you don't remember how to check. But when you do check, you would type x squared plus 15x plus 56 into one entry box. Then you would put x plus 7, and that will create a linear line that goes through the same x-intercept as the quadratic. And then x plus 8 would go through the other x-intercept. All right, b, a squared minus 4a plus 24. So to label a, b, and c, we really only need b and c. So b equals negative 4, c equals 24. So we want factors of 24 that add up to negative 4. Now, if they add up to a negative and they multiply to a positive, then they both have to be negative numbers. A negative times a negative equals a positive, and then a negative plus a negative equals a negative. So also be aware of your signs. So again, start with 1. If it's negative 1 times negative 24, it equals positive 4. Negative 1 plus negative 24 equals negative 25. So that cannot be a combination. Then let's go to the next one. 24 divided by 2, 12. So negative 12 times negative 2 is positive 24. Negative 12 plus negative 2 is negative 14. That's not going to work. All right, 24 divided by 3. So 8 and 3. Negative 8 times negative 3 equals 24. And then negative 8 plus negative 3 is negative 11. We need negative 4. All right, next one. 24 divided by 6. 6 times 4. So negative 6 times negative 4 is positive 24. Negative 6 plus negative 4 is negative 10. Still not working. But our numbers are getting smaller, so let's keep going. 24 divided by 5. Nope. 24 divided by 7, no. 24 divided by 9, 24 divided by 11. I don't think I'm going to come up with any more options. I can't think of any more. Nothing works. So if nothing works after you've tried everything, it's not factorable. Not every quadratic function is factorable. We can't always use that method. All right, for 14, learning target, I can identify key features of quadratic functions. 14, identify the following key features of the graph. What is the axis of symmetry? Axis of symmetry is when it splits the graph in the middle in half and it's a mirror image on both sides. This is always going to go through the x value of the vertex. So we write it as the equation x equals, and if this is 0, that's 1, 2, 3. What is the vertex? Well, the vertex is the lowest or highest point. On here, we know the value is 3 from the axis of symmetry, and then that's negative 4. Always write as an ordered pair. All right, for C, are the zeros? So the zeros are where it crosses the x-axis, the x-intercepts. So x equals 1 and x equals 5. What is the domain and range? Any quadratic function that's given with no context, the domain is all real values. And then for the range, we look at the y value of the vertex, which is negative 4. It's going above that. So y is greater than or equal to negative 4. E, does the function have a minimum or a maximum? Well, this is the lowest point, so this is a minimum. And then what is it? Well, we write it as an equation. We always write it as the y value. Y equals negative 4. Number 15, learning target. I can use the quadratic formula to solve quadratic functions. I gave you the quadratic formula. On the test, you will get the LEAP reference sheet, which also has the quadratic formula. So you don't have to memorize this. Then we have to find the solution. So first, we have to put it equal to 0. So I have to add 4 to both sides. 5x squared plus 9x plus 4 equals 0. Then I want to label a, b, and c. A equals 5, the coefficient in front of x squared. B equals 9, the coefficient in front of x. And c equals 4, the constant. Then we're going to plug it into our formula. X equals negative b, so negative 9, plus or minus 9 squared minus 4. A is 5 times c is 4. Divided by 2 times a, so 2 times 5. All right, then solve. Negative 9 plus or minus. I always solve under the radical first, so 9 squared, 81. That's negative 4 times 5. And then times 4, negative 80, so 81 minus 80. And then 2 times 5 is 10. All right, then simplify under the radical. 81 minus 80 is 1. X equals negative 9 plus or minus square root of 1 over 10. All right, now that I'm here, I know the square root of 1 is 1. So x equals negative 9 plus or minus 1 over 10. If it's plus or minus, we need to create two different equations. One that has addition, one subtraction. So x equals negative 9 plus 1 divided by 10. X equals negative 9 minus 1 divided by 10. And then solve these. So negative 9 plus 1 divided by 10. Now, it might not always give you a decimal when you're taking the test. So in case you only see answers in fractions, we need to do negative 8 divided by 10. So we do the fraction, the green button here. Press over to the right. So that was negative 8 over 10, negative 4/5. Or it might have negative 0.8. So I would just find both to see how it's shown on the test. Then we have negative 9 minus 1 divided by 10. negative 1. So x equals negative 4/5 and x equals negative 1. So I should have put x equals in front of those, negative 4/5 and x equals negative 1. That's our final answer. So remember, the solutions to a quadratic function are the x-intercepts. This parabola touches the x-axis in 2 places here. Also, you might see an error analysis where it gives you a quadratic formula solved, but there's a mistake in here. So error analysis, describe and correct the error in solving the equation negative 2x squared plus 9x equals 4 using the quadratic formula. So first, let's kind of go through the steps ourselves. We need to put it equal to 0. We need to subtract 4 from both sides. So it'd be negative 2x squared plus 9x minus 4 equals 0. Then you want to define your a, b, and c. A equals negative 2, b equals 9, c equals negative 4. All right, let's make sure they plugged it in correctly. They put negative 9, which is your negative b, okay, plus or minus square root of 9 squared, looks as a 4, minus 4 times a, which was negative 2, times c. Oh, they put c as 4. C is negative 4. So maybe they didn't realize to add or to subtract 4 from both sides and that they needed it to be equal to 0. I think they just took this 4 from here. So I'm going to circle this. C equals negative 4, not positive 4. Then it says to correct the error. So we need to now correct the error. So x equals negative 9 plus or minus square root of 9 squared minus 4 times negative 2 times negative 4 divided by 2 times negative 2. You could potentially, here, let's see. So 9 squared, oops, 9 squared is 81. So x equals negative 9 plus or minus 81 negative 4 times negative 2 times negative 4 is negative 32. 2 times negative 2 is negative 4. All right, 81 minus 32, 49. So that equals negative 9 plus or minus 49. Square root of 49, to do square root, you do second, x squared. Square root of 49 equals 7. So x equals negative 9 plus or minus 7 over negative 4. And then remember to create your 2 different equations. So x equals negative 9 plus 7 divided by 4. X equals negative 9 minus 7 divided by 4. Negative 9 plus 7 divided by 4 is negative 0.5 or 1/2. All right, and then negative 9 minus 7 divided by 4 is negative 4. And x equals negative 4. All right, I'm going to start this video here. I will create one more video going over the rest of the study guide